Kurri Kurri Local Court is all about petty offences. Serious offending does happen in this part of the world, but you have to be quick if you're observing at court because the more serious offending cases pass through pretty quick. In fact, most are never listed here. Most of the serious cases are dealt with at Cessnock Local Court. And the really serious offences usually go to the big city that is Newcastle, particularly if it's heading towards the District Court. In August 2025, there are 2 examples of alleged serious offending. However, I have no idea what the actual alleged crimes are because, like a lot of cases, not much was said out loud. Remember, I'm just a member of the public, so I need the details, like the actual charge, to be said out loud for me to be allowed to know. Just for some reason on this day, many details were not being said out loud for most cases. So, how did I know they were serious offences? Well, the first example was a man and a woman, they're probably in their 40s. They held onto each other the whole time and said very little as they appeared at the defendant's microphone. They are co-accused. Both are facing a charge or charges, and police have applied for an AVO against both of them on behalf of the same PINOP. We hear the DPP has elected to prosecute. This is an indication that the case involves more serious offending, allegedly. The second example had a couple of indications that the case involved either a serious offence or a more serious legal situation. First, the magistrate decides to call up their previous sentences for a re-sentence, meaning it's likely this new offending has occurred while the defendant was on a corrections order. Re-offending can lead to a more serious legal situation. Second, we hear they are going to rehab, meaning it's likely drugs or alcohol are associated with the offending. In my opinion, drugs and alcohol can lead to poor decision making, which can result in serious offending. Third, the magistrate orders a sentencing assessment report before the sentencing, which will happen over at Cessnock Local Court in September. This means the court wants to know what type of sentencing might be suitable. Yep, that means jail is an option. The defendant has become quite distressed. It's possible this defendant is feeling the full reality of their criminal history, where jail is becoming a real possibility. This court mention finished with the magistrate making a comment, and I've seen other magistrates make similar comments in these situations. By the way, lots of people put on an act, and I don't think that's the case here. They looked genuinely terrified of jail. Remember, we heard that they're about to do rehab, meaning it's likely they are struggling with an addiction while appearing before this magistrate. The magistrate says words such as they are of the view that it is not full-time jail. The solicitor quickly ushers the upset defendant out the door for a debrief. So sometimes we can get a quick look at cases that involve serious offending around Kurri Kurri.